to share on Facebook. Now, see who's on here because I see one person, as far as I can tell. Oh, nope, they disappeared. Okay, let's see who's going to pop on. Give everybody a little bit of time. I'm going to take me a little bit of time myself because now I have to try and share this. Very new to this. Be that's created. Okay. Then a couple minutes, so let people come in when they're ready. Well, anyway, I had some thoughts on some other things in my life that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people don't know that I'm bisexual. I never actually really addressed all that. I pretty much grew up that way because of the simple fact of the matter is that my aunt was that way, so that is how I thought everything was okay. Well, some people that I've dated over the years didn't really believe in that. They believed in, a woman should be with a guy and pure simple. Well, I tried to do that throughout every relationship I've been in. And I will tell you it is not the greatest. It's void. It makes you have a void. It's not that you don't love the person you're with. It's just really hard to. And I found that out by myself. And it leaves a giant void. And over time, I've had, plenty of girlfriends throughout my life, be it who I thought would be the person I would date and realize they don't go that way. They're not like me, or they're just not that way at all. Or you get led on to believe that they are, when in fact, in all actuality, they're not. And that's even more hurtful, which then leaves more depression and anxiety on my brain. Well, I had lots of crushes throughout my time growing up, and none of them was really set in stone. Um, I had a crush on this girl, Alice, and we started to date for a little while. And then things got a little sour, and she cheated on me with the neighbor guy named Paul, along with whoever else she was with in that moment. Well, I was going through a really rough patch in my life because I didn't know whether Jeremiah was actually with me or if he was using me or if I was just some fly on the wall spiel that he could screw over and or screw a person and walk away. Well, when I was with Alice, I felt happy until I had met this girl, and her name is Tiff. I call her Tiffy, so that's what I'm going to say, and I'm just going to keep using that. Well, anyway, Tiffy was one of the people I actually really had a chance to get to know. Um, I even got to talk to her a lot when I was hanging around the same people that she did. And a lot of the guys that I was with would shun me for the way I am. I want to tell you guys something, okay, before I finish the rest of this. If a man is not going to respect you for who you are and is going to force you to be somebody you're not in a situation to make you feel a void in your soul or in your heart, okay, then that man isn't worth it. If you have to hide being who you truly are, I can tell you from experience, it's not a way of life, really. I mean, I'm one to tell the tale. It's pretty much, it takes away your life. It takes away your inner self, and it makes you feel less of a person. So, yeah, I'm pretty much saying this because I really don't feel it's right for anybody to feel that they need to feel less of a person all because of that. Nobody should feel less of a person by any means. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're going, you have no clue what you're talking about, you know, maybe my man does respect me, maybe I'm seeing too much into it, or maybe that, if you're questioning your whole entirety of a relationship because you think at a possibility that they may or may not respect your decision of who you are. That's not a real life. And then I had to know I was in that boat. And I thought for a minute, I was okay. I was going to be okay. 9 times out of 10, except for my husband, 9 times out of 10, if you have a man in your life and they question your ability to be that way, or they're turning around and making you feel like something in you internally makes you feel like something's going to go wrong, it's going to. Because Alice, when I was with, I kind of had an idea that something was going to go on, something was going to go wrong, but I didn't think it was going to go and happen when I fell and fell hard. So anyway, I got to know Tiffy over time, and we had lost contact because I moved. Well, I moved to Florida, first of all, I was pregnant with my son at the time. And when I moved, I lost complete total contact of just about everybody except for them. And it wasn't Tiffy. It was, you know, my son's, biological father, which was more important to me hanging on to somebody's number than anybody's at that time. And so, you know, it was hectic, which I'll get to another video, but that's someday. So I left to move here, which is out in Minnesota. So I lost contact with her for a lot of years until I moved into my last apartment. And then we just started talking again. And I felt like, you know, okay, things can go back to where they were, maybe, possibly not. And then each time I talked to her, she was going through her own battle. Be it a guy or what the guy did or what the guy's doing to her, which at that time I felt was wrong for her to live through. But when you're young, you don't realize what you're doing. You just think that you know what you're doing is right. But I spent most of my life after that, after we lost contact again, I just kind of tried to let go, really, because I didn't think I mattered anymore. I didn't think that, you know, I didn't think I was cared about. So I spent most of my years claiming it and believing it. Well, when I did that, it tore me apart, shattered my whole life. And it took me to really get up, realize, you know, I have a child, I am a mom, I need to take care of me. So at that time I did. And so I ended up moving where I am now, this is my house, and spent most of my time, meeting friends and things like that. And being torn apart in between finding certain girlfriends, which will be another video of that whole spiel later. So I basically let everything happen. And I just didn't care from then and even at that time. I didn't care anymore. I just had this feeling that, what happens happens, you know, it's just pretty much again where I'm at. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it's not, it doesn't really matter. I still have my family, and that's key that I thought of. But I still had carried that void for a while because I felt like something was missing, and I overlooked it. I tried to um think that it's just a feeling it'll go away. You try to throw it off to the side and think that you're gonna be okay. But I wasn't. I was still hurting. I was still feeling like I didn't matter anymore. That's how I felt. And I spent most of my time crying, not knowing how to explain certain things, not caring. and really just shutting everybody out. I push people away or throw an attitude or I just get mad because, you're pushing me to tell you. And I would keep doing it. And, being away and having that void pretty much does not help matters any. So I turn around and just didn't care. I shut everyone up. I'm still at this point, at this time in my life where I'm trying to not have that feeling anymore, not have that feeling of voiding, not have that feeling of, I lost my inner self. And having that type of feeling is not cool, it makes you feel like, you know, you're looking at a car mirror where you look back and that object is further away. You look at that mirror, that object looks closer. I'm not looking at the mirror. I'm looking at what's behind it. That's why I use the mirror analogy. And it really downright makes you want to cry because you feel like everything is just way back. And I'm telling you, it's not a way of life. It's not a way of dealing with life at all. I'm one to tell you. I mean, don't have somebody, even if you do, don't have somebody that's going to turn around and say, oh, you're important and only want you because they want you, not because you want them or you guys want each other. I mean, yeah, I explain my life. I blog about it because I know people out there really need to hear it. And I know that a lot of people don't understand me. They don't, they don't know how I am. They don't know why I am the way I am. They just totally don't understand. So, I wanted to put the courage out there and really stick my neck out there and go, hey, you know what? You're not the only one out there who has problems. I do too. Everybody does. But I did one up and decided to say, you know what? I want to help the world. I want to help the world with what I have. Because I know there's people out there. I mean, I've intaken so much knowledge that I want to give it to the world. I want to change people's lives. I want to make people believe in what I say is true. Yeah, I may be 42 years old, but that doesn't necessarily mean I don't know life. I know a little bit. I'm not going to say I know everything because I don't. I can only tell you what I know. But give me a minute. Truth is no one should have to feel like they need to tuck their tail between their legs and think that they can hide who they are. That's the whole point of this. Never hide who you are. That's what I did. And as you can see, I'm not as uppity as I usually am. And I can tell you from experience, it hurts. So don't push aside your life. Don't barricade it. Don't candy coat it. And don't put it in a box and never use it again. Be you. Be who you are. And if that leads you to whoever, I mean, if you're a guy, and you like a guy, goes for that too. You know, it falls on both levels. Be you. Don't let people force you to be something you're not. And don't ignore who you are. Because you know what? I did. And now I have to be kind of out. I mean, at a distance because she's in two different states. So, it's a process and transition. I have to re-know her. She has to re-know me. Um, you know, so yeah, I remember that every time I see somebody and I get some memory, I'll say yeah. Then there's the other part that I hadn't put up here yet, which I've had the courage to come on here and say this to. When I was about 5 years old, I was raped and forced to believe that I was married to my uncle. Now, given the fact of my family members, I'll leave that person's name out because certain family members know that I talk to, know who they are, know who the person is. And I don't feel it's feasible for me to name him, but we'll call him Jim. Okay. Just for the simple fact of the matter is, I need to have some form of name on here to explain what I got through. When I was 5, I was going to an elementary school in where I was at, and my uncle Jim came over to visit me. He was drinking because he smelled the booze and liquor. And I'm outside, it's recess, and I'm trying to play with my friends. We were playing ball outside. Well, when he came out, and in where uh, the yard was, there's a fenced in area where you could play or you could, you know, play baseball. Well, the area I was at where we were playing was kind of like the baseball part, where you have the cage, so to speak, well, not a cage, more like the gate that goes like this for like the umpire, for like if a ball flies backward, it has to move it. Well, he had my uncle Jim had asked me to come and see him. He said, I need you to come over here and I need you to come over here now. And I said, why? He said, because you are my wife and I'm married to you and you need to come home. And mind you, I'm 5 years old. So when I had that at that moment, I said no because I said, no, Uncle Jim, I'm going to go play with my friend. And he grabbed a hold of my hand and pulled me and tried to pull me away from the, the yard. Well, you have a yard it's like a complete square. Okay. On that square you have 4 areas to go in and out. And there's 4 gates on each side. Well, five if you count the middle, because the middle is like a bigger gate. It's like a double gate. Well, when he came through the gate, the single gate on the corner, that was the gate that he came through to pull me through to him. And I was screaming irately, crying, trembling, in utter fear. I was scared. And when I did that, me being so scared, I ran when he let go of me. And a teacher had came, and I'm guessing one of the students kind of said something because there was a kid by a teacher other than me. And my teacher said, well, what's going on? And I explained to her, what I just said. And she said, okay, well, we will address this with your foster mom at the time. And when that was addressed, I was called a liar. I was called a kid that was making up stories. Yeah. Well, that's where my distrust comes from. That is also where my detachment disorder comes in because when I get attached to somebody, I get attached full bore because I'm afraid they're gonna leave or something bad is gonna happen. Well, when it was that time after school that had to be addressed, of course, and when it was addressed, I got called a liar. I got called I would make up stories. Yeah, an important method at the age of 5. Never tell someone the truth unless they believe you. So I was forced to lie and say it never happened. But any time that my Uncle Jim would come to my school, I'd be scared. I was so scared, and I can still remember this like it was yesterday. I lost my bladder in the middle of the outside front of the school, and I peed it all over myself because of it. I had no extra clothes, no nothing. But yeah, that took a lot of pain that I went through. It took away my childhood, and it took away me being the person that I am. I mean, everybody knows that I'm a good person. Everybody knows me that I have a heart of gold, and I'm just a very caring, loving, responsible person. I mean, look at me. I'm sitting here doing a video with you guys. I mean, come on. So, yeah. So when I get attached to somebody, I can't. I can't let go. But if that person's done something bad to me or hurt me in some way, shape, or form, I'll be hurt because, of course, I had an attachment to that person, be it a relative or whoever. And I've gotten to the point where now I want to be attached to certain people, but I don't want to be attached because I've been hurt. Yeah, I've been hurt many times. I had a friend of mine ruin my life to knock me back to where I was at that moment. At that time, I was 5, which that one will be another story, which I'm going to be writing all these down when I get done with this and make another video. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened in my life. Pretty much what I went through. And yeah, so if you're, you know, another thing is to go back to where I said, being yourself, always remember this. If you love yourself in this moment, in this time, and you can see yourself being happy with not just your man, your husband, your boyfriend, whichever is free, and that person, male or female, whichever you pick, whoever is in your circle of love, if one, they can't respect you for who you are, they're not worth it. Two, if they're going to force you to change, let them go. Three, if they're going to tell you you can't be with that person and you have to stop and cut all ties, let that person that's telling you that cut ties. Let them go. Because that's not letting you be who you are. And the other one is there are some forms of religion that reject that. I'm going to tell you from me, if you know and feel that you're okay, that's all that matters. That makes you feel okay. I'm even going to tell you, yeah, fornication is in the Ten Commandments. Really, it is. But don't let other people dictate your life. If you love yourself being bisexual, gay, straight, whatever, be happy with who you are. Be happy in your way of living. Never let anybody force you to make the wrong choices, to make you feel crappy. So with that to be said, that's pretty much what my video was about. So you guys can comment and or send me a message either way, and I will get back to you. Seems how no one came on here, and I put it all over Facebook, but that's okay. Well, hopefully see you guys some other time on another video. Always remember, be who you are, be who you love, and never back down for what you know in your heart to be. Bye, everybody.